What's up all you gamers? In preparation of the new skyscraper for the Division 2, which is pretty much just around the corner now, I've come up with a few theorycraft builds that I think should work very well. So if you want to see my first one, which I'm going to call the all-rounder because it's got a nice bit of damage, bit of survivability and also helps out the team, then stay tuned. That's coming up next.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Whee.
Welcome back all you guys and girls. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know they all revolve around this man right here, Charles Douglas, and his trusty gun range. Now today we're going to be trying out, like I said, the first build that I think should work. Now obviously it's all down to a bit of theory crafting because we don't exactly know what's happening yet, but I think this should be really viable in the upcoming skyscraper. So let's have a look. Basically what you want to do is stick your bum in cover. This is your job. There you go. Job done. Now take some shots. Now if you have a little look there, the tick damage is pretty much 1,000,000. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. I've run this build earlier and it is very viable in heroics, and I think it should be good for the skyscraper. Because what I was thinking, if you have a look, what you're doing here, you're just tapping them. If you can round up to the head, go for it. But the body shots are good enough, because obviously the LMG you're using is the Pestilence. And the Pestilence, I don't know if you've used it since the buff. If you run missions with the Pestilence, you will undoubtedly come top every single time. Unless you come up against someone who has got a ridiculous build. Maybe someone with a Ravenous or something like that might top it. I don't know. I've not had that yet. But even so, if you were going to come second, it would not be by much, because you get so much damage out of these now. Now, what I've got on the build, obviously pretty self-explanatory. You're using an LMG, so go for the gunner class. Gives you the extra bit of rapid fire, which you'll be using mostly for it. And then obviously, like I said, just down here will be the Pestilence. And obviously, you know that just does the tick damage. I've got quite a nice one. You can get slightly better if you've got a 15%er. But that does loads of damage. And the reason I've picked the Pestilence is because you're completely in enclosed areas. You're just in set rooms. So it's going to spread constantly to another individual. Every single time, I would bet. Now, I've not actually changed this up yet, but for your secondary, chuck on whatever you can that's going to be a long ranger. So say for example a sniper, like a baker's dozen, something along those lines would be great. Handgun, your own preference. If they get that close shot, you're almost undoubtedly going to be using this anyway. Now for the face mask, what I've got is the Walker and Harris Company. And if you have a little look there, it's got weapon damage, damage to armour and damage to health, where I'm using the 3-piece set. Now what you'd want ideally would be crit hit damage, crit hit chance and crit hit chance. Headshot damage, not so much. I wouldn't worry about that at all. You're hitting most things in the body, to be fair, unless you're rounding up to the head. And then obviously the backpack and the holster are the same. Now the backpack, just over here, and what I've got on is weapon damage, crit hit damage, crit hit chance and weapon handling. And if I was you, I would stick at least one weapon handling on this. It just makes it more viable. A little bit of stability with an LMG actually goes a long way. You might think you lose a bit of damage, but hitting those shots makes it so you actually gain a little bit. Now if you have a look down here as well, if I come to the right bit, I've put on Bloodsucker. That's because, like I said to you, you will be doing enough damage. I wouldn't worry too much. Killing an enemy adds and refreshes a stack of 10% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Maximum is 10. So basically, if you have a look over there, we've got almost a million armor, just under actually, 913. So you're going to have over 1.8 million armor when you've got all the buffs on, which you should be able to get. It's really good. Really good. It makes you tanky in a non-tanky build. The gloves you're going to want will be just over here, and that's the one for the LMG. They're the contractor's gloves. So LMG is 10% damage, that's the main reason why you've got them, and the damage to armour. Like I said, I've rolled it for crit chance because that's what I wanted. It makes it a bit more viable, but they are perfect for that slot. Over here, like I said, what you're going to be doing, I don't know 100% yet, but I am almost sure that you will not be able to do too much on your own without a team around you. So I've tried to make these team builds. So obviously if you have a look here, it's got crit hit chance, which is great. Always good to have extra crit hit chance. Weapon damage, headshot damage, I've put a little bit on there. Weapon handling and protection from elites. So I've tried to make it so that I'm a little bit tanky and can chuck out the damage when you need to. The main thing you've got here as well, oh sorry, I forgot to say, it's the Seska, just for the critical hit, just in case you need to know. But the main thing I've got here as well, if I stop pressing the wrong buttons, is the Overwatch. After staying in cover for 10 seconds, increases you and your allies' total weapon and skill damage by 12%. So basically, you're going to be buffing your entire team. It might not sound like much at all, but it is. That's for every individual. So you think about it, that's 36% to your other teammates, no matter what kind of variation they are, whether they're tech, whether they're damage, it doesn't matter, you're helping them. Now just down here, nothing special, but like I said, it just completes the free piece. It's weapon damage, crit hit damage, and it's the Walker and Harris. What you would want on that last bit would not be health. Don't worry about health, try and get the crit hit chance again. And finally, to round it up, this right here, the Sawyer's knee pads. I am guessing that there is going to be a lot of grenades going around, so having that explosive resistance will almost definitely be a lifesaver in some situations. Extra armour, extra health, cannot be staggered, and increases your weapon damage while you're in armour, which goes hand in hand with Overwatch. So that is a really nice viable build. Obviously, like I said, don't worry about this. Chuck on whatever you want there, probably be a long range weapon if you needed it, or something really rapid fire, but I would probably say a sniper. Down here for your skills, what I think is advisable would be the turret and either the restoring hive or the reviver. Obviously things can change a little bit and you might want a decoy, but at the start I would say go for that, and then if you're in a little bit of trouble, you just chuck it down and you're going to get your armor back, and you should be getting your armor back from this as well. It's really nice. It does a lot of damage. You might not think it does, but where they transfer over, if you have a little look there, once that's done its job, that's 10 million right there. And then if you do it over here, it'll be another 10 million. And then over here, 10 million, and it can keep passing on. So it is well worth trying this build out. If you thought that this bag was unneeded and you wanted pure DPS, then just down here, chuck on Vigilance, and that gives you an extra 25% damage whilst not being shot. If you get shot, you lose the buff for 4 seconds. But if you have a little look here, this is basically what it does. it absolutely tears through enemies. I think the first one's the best, especially in such an enclosed space, but it's your choice. Once that's fully buffed, you're doing I believe it was 1.15 million damage per tick. Completely your call. You use which one you like. Right, guys and girls, hopefully that's something you'd like to try out. But like I said, I think it'd be really good in an enclosed space. It all kind of gels together. And I'm going to try and bring a few more builds out. Obviously, other kinds of builds. But yeah, as an all-rounder, I think this one's really good. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, I'll be bringing out more content for all the Xbox stuff and Xbox Series X once it's out. All the latest and greatest. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk, and of course Diablo 4 once it's out as well. As always, guys and girls, hope you've enjoyed. And if you're not subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you liked it, and the bell button for notifications. As always, take care and see you all next time.